The title of my sermon is Poland. Poland, a good country to serve, a good country to serve the Lord, and a good country to live. It's a good country to serve the Lord and a good country to live. And we have it's already, how long ago? I'm already forgetting. 1-2 weeks ago, there was the European Soul Winning Conference, and two of our brethren were there, Brother Nerdo and Brother Jan. They also gave testimony there. So about Poland, actually. Maybe one day we can hear their testimony when they come next time from the European Soul Winning Conference. And what I realized really a lot since I've been living in the Philippines, in Poland, in Germany I've lived but not really served the Lord because I was not yet a soul winner while I was living in Germany. I already said many times that least people that I saved in German, with the German language. Even more people with my broken Russian, that doesn't really exist yet, it is so broken, but I still saved more people in Russian than in German. And I want to tell you that even in Germany, also the testament from Pastor Shelley, he really ripped off the country. They were in the worst city anyway, but he still got quite good salvations for the 3 days. So you can even serve in Germany. But how much more it's receptive in Poland? I really want to make a point that Poland is a very, very receptive country compared to other European countries. I don't really want to compare it to US. I cannot compare it also to the Philippines. Of course, the Philippines are far beyond anything. It's not beyond anything. You can compare it still with African countries, also with some poor countries in Middle America. Of course, you can compare it with a lot of other receptive countries, but in Europe, Poland really sticks out. It's quite in the center. There is a discussion. Is Germany in the center? Is Poland in the center? From Polish perspective, we are in the center. From German perspective, we are the east. But now the Germans, they can shut up because their country is going down the hill. They also will not be longer anymore economically at the center. And all things that I want to tell, actually, how good the country is to live in. How good the country is to live in. To serve is another thing. I think Germany never has been that receptive, at least in our lifetimes, like Poland. But before 2015, Germany also was a good country to live in. Now not anymore. So why is Poland receptive? Why is Poland receptive? It's really like a paradoxon. It is because the mother of harlots, that's the religion here. The Catholic Church. It's really paradoxon, the worst of all religions. And because most people are Catholic, they have Catholic background, that's why it's receptive. How can this be? How can this be? I tell you directly, it's not the people who go every Sunday to church. It's not the hardcore Catholics that say, I was born a Catholic, I live a Catholic, I will die a Catholic. No, it's not the ones who discuss with you about doctrine, that discuss with you about Mary and the Pope and the Church Fathers. No, it is the young people. It is the one who say, also we heard this in the testimony of our brethren, it is the one who say, I believe in God, I'm a believer, but I don't practice my religion, but I don't go to church. Even yesterday, my wife and me were soul winning. We were able to save 3 people. And this was 2 people that were sitting outside and 1 got saved. And before it was a group of 3 people. And 2 of them got saved. And 1 even asked me before we came to prayer, so is it possible to believe in the Bible, in Jesus, but not to believe in the church and get saved? And I said, yes. Of course, there is a good church. We are a good church. You can believe in our church, but that's not necessary for salvation. If you believe that this is a bad church, that I'm a bad pastor, and you are saved, you are still saved, So, but how much less you need to believe in the mother of all harlots to get saved. You don't need at all. You just need to believe in the Word of God. You need to believe that Jesus Christ died for you, was buried, and rose again. And that by faith in Him, you have salvation. That's so easy. Yeah, it's very easy. And especially these people that say, believe in God, but don't believe in the church. They have some religious background. You don't need to explain so much to them. We can actually open 1 Corinthians 15, and there's written shortly what the gospel is. So I just want to cross-check quickly with you what Catholics already believe. Also Protestants, by the way. But the Protestant church, especially if you go to Germany, it's a nightmare. Yeah, the early, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, maybe it was better. But they already, since over 100 years, especially the theologians, they stopped believing in the Bible. They are ripping it out. They stopped believing in the resurrection. Today in the German Protestant church, there is women in front of the pulpit. Even worse, there is women or men, or there was something, yeah, I would, according to their own words, there was ends, yeah, in German there was sein und ihr, in English there's his and her, and they want to have a new pronoun for everyone, ends, yeah, keep it for yourself, yeah, I'm not ends, yeah, but this ends, beast or whatever, there is such beasts in front of a pulpit. It's a disaster. It's horrible. They are preaching politics. So today the Protestants, they are done. Yeah? But still young Protestants, also idealized in Denmark. In Denmark they have something like Christendom. Christentum, yeah, Christianity in English. In German, Christentum, Christendom. Some in class, and that's why they also have some background. That's actually quite good, and that's why even in Denmark there is young people who are deceptive, maybe not like here in this country, but they're still deceptive. So even the Protestants that don't go to church, they can still be receptive. Though in Poland it's not really a topic, yeah, we don't have that much. Even most of them are considered as a cult, as a sect, especially Baptists, and Baptists are considered as Protestants, what we are not, yeah, but that's another topic for itself. But let us open 1 Corinthians 15, verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I declare unto you the gospel which I preach unto you, which also ye have received, and wherein ye stand, by which also ye are saved, if ye keep in memory what I preached unto you, unless ye have believed in vain. For I delivered unto you first of all that which I also received, how that Christ died for our sins, according to the Scriptures, and that he was buried, and that he rose again the third day, according to the Scriptures. That's the gospel. He died, he was buried, and rose again. Do Catholics believe the gospel in general? They believe it as a historical fact. Yeah, we can say like this. They believe that it's historical. They believe that Jesus Christ was on earth. They believe that he's the Son of God. For there were three that be reckoned in heaven: the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost. And these three are one. Do they believe this? Do they believe in Trinity? Yes, they believe in Trinity. Wonderful. What else do they believe? Heaven and hell. Let us open Daniel chapter 12. Daniel chapter 12, in after Ezekiel, before the minor prophets. Daniel chapter 12, verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Do they believe in heaven and hell? Yes, Protestants today in Germany maybe not, but in the theory, in the origins, yes. Catholics, anyway, they believe in heaven and hell, but yeah, this purgatory, yeah, purgatory, I think that's the English word, just yet, purgatory. In German, Fegefeuer, so every language has some word for this because of the Catholic. They invented this. The Catholic invented a lot. I think also this doctrine, this false doctrine that you go automatically to hell if you commit suicide, that's also invented by the Catholic Church. Actually, this that you go automatically to hell by committing suicide is actually true for 98% of all people. because they don't believe. Yeah? But if you believe, it's not true. You still go to heaven because you believed. Whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. This is what the Bible tells very clearly. So what do you actually need to explain to a Catholic? You need to explain him that faith, it's really faith and not works. Therefore we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law. Yeah, this you explain to him. You explain to him there is no purgatory. And sometimes, with Mary saints, very seldom. But this is the main things. That is not of works, it's faith. And you explain to him that eternal means eternal. And that you cannot lose your salvation. That once you believe, you are saved. Yes, so in general, just the gospel. You just need to explain the basic gospel. Not like you don't need to explain so much about that hell is eternal. 1, 2 verses is enough. Not like Jehovah's Witness or Adventists, we have so much to explain. You don't need to, like to a Hindu, to explain that there is not the 300 million gods, they are demons or so. You don't need to explain to them. That's why it's pretty simple. And the main thing also is people who believe already that this is historically, people who believe that there is heaven and hell, people who believe that there is an eternity, and they already know by the conscience, I am not good enough. Ask them, how many people say they are sure? Some say because I'm good. Yeah, because they think that you don't need to be that. If you just have a few sins, you still go to heaven. Some. But many already have sinned a lot in the youth. Young people sin a lot. They do a lot of stupid things. They realize this. And in their conscience, they know they are not good enough. They know it, they are not good enough, but they want to go to heaven. And then some soul winner comes and explains them how easy it is. That's why you just have to find the people that are willing to listen, and here's plenty of them in this country, especially the teenagers, the young people. They are very interested. Sometimes also children, but sometimes they're also a little bit like shy or scared, or they also not always understand. But depends. Yeah, it depends on the situation. I will later tell us a testimony. The youngest I got saved was 9 years, and the oldest brother, Bartek, yeah, you saved 74 years recently, yeah? So there was actually a good range. The very young one are quite exception, but even more the older range, yeah, there are even more exception. So, and yeah, you just have really to explain faith. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hands. Yeah, eternal life. Just explain to them. And you have freedom to preach. We have freedom. Can we preach here in Poland? Yes, we can. Are we absolute free? Yeah, there is nothing like absolute freedom. In the millennium reign of Christ, yeah, it's slightly limited. Slightly. There is a low risk. It's really low risk. What is the risk when you preach in the train station, on the mall? That's actually private territory, and by the law you're actually not allowed. Not by the government law, but by their house rules. This is such a word in German, it's called Hausordnung. So every house has its own rule. The same as you at your home can make this rule. So the government cannot force us to allow here like perverts into this building, because according to our house rules they are not allowed. I also, some weeks ago, I realized that this is even written on our homepage. If you didn't read it, it's even written on our homepage that this is not allowed, so that everyone knows. So this is our house rules. We can make them. Yeah, if I like, I can say, okay, all brethren go out, we allow only sisters, all sisters go out, we allow only brethren. Yeah, but in that case, I'm already getting a cult, yeah? I will already be marked as this Tyler Doka direction, yeah? If I start with such strange things. So we stick with this. There was only this one group that's actually not only the LGBT, but all psychopaths, yeah? So there was also, forget this not, yeah? There was also psychopaths that are not LGBT, yeah? Some of them. And if I would ever find out that someone is a psychopath, even though he didn't do this wicked sins, but other sins or so, yeah, then he's not allowed. Someone, a serial killer, please go out, yeah? if someone killed once a person, but he believed in Jesus and really repented of killing, yeah, this would be the condition. You repented, you don't kill anymore, you don't have the desire in your heart, yeah, then he can stay. But if he would say to me, actually, I'm still sometimes tempted, then, okay, brother, yes, you are saved, but I really don't feel that you should be here if you still have that desire. That would be really strange, yeah. Actually, I don't think that some saved person has, in the past, if someone, let's say like this, if someone, normal people or saved people would ever do a murder, yeah, why did King David do this? To hide something, yeah? Or maybe out of hatred or something happens. But I think if someone has really this lust, yeah, then it's already like psycho, yeah, this direction, because normal and saved people don't have lust to do such sin, yeah, they do the sins because of the weakness of the flesh, because of greediness, because of sins, yeah, because they want to hide something, because of hatred and such things. Okay, but now I went a little bit off the topic. So the house rule, yeah, who can stay here and who cannot, and so the same they have also in the malls. And according to the house rules, is it allowed to preach the gospel there? It's not. Yeah, nevertheless, yesterday I got 2 people saved in the mall. Yeah, and on Wednesday we got 4 people saved in the mall. And in Warsaw, I don't know, I think they saved them outside, but I know them. You have been outside, I think, yeah? But often also in the mall there, in the train station. Outside, there was usually no limitation. Unless, in the Philippines, there was private parks, by the way. Yeah, in the Philippines, there was private parks. But also, actually in the parks in the Philippines, we save a lot of people. I don't know what's first, the parks, maybe now the school preaching is even more. You just have to take some risk. Because what is the risk? What is the risk to get kicked out? That's it. There is no risk to go to the police station. And even if, come on, yeah, that's not a big risk. But it's not there. Have anyone been in prison or threatened by the police to go to prison because he was soul winning? No, I'm also not. Yeah, so, and I'm soul winning since 10 years. In many different countries. So we have this, not only in Poland, yeah, this is what I tell you, it's pretty much, I think, in the USA, in Germany, in the Philippines, it's pretty much the same. You have freedom to preach, it's slightly limited everywhere, but it's a good thing that you have the possibility. I remember Brother Wesley, yeah, he wants to come next month and to move to Katowice. And he was for 5 hours, I think, yeah, for 5 hours he was in Zlote Tarasy. And he saved, if I remember right, around 6 people or so. So it was 1 per hour, more or less. Until he got kicked out, yeah, short before they closed. And he said that they really let him to the door. Usually they say, okay, stop it, yeah, but they really brought him to the door even, yeah. Okay, so what do we do in such a situation? We can, at first, okay, for him it was anyway late, yeah, he can go sleep, yeah, but what if just 1 hour passed of the 2 or 4 hour soul winning time? We just go somewhere else. Here in Katowice, there was the train station, there was the Galeria, there was the city, yeah? You get kicked out the train station, then go to the Galeria. You get kicked out Galeria, just go outside. Yeah, it's now the hottest day in the year, 37 degrees. So I think every one of you, maybe many of you would like to go to the Galeria where there was aircon. But if not, then you need to sweat. And then the next day you can come maybe back. In Warsaw, I once was for 1 month, not in Westfield Arcady, but in Złote only and in Łociny in the malls, because they seriously kicked me out. Like even it looked like they were watching me through the cameras, because they came some from nowhere, and what this security guy told me, like, yeah, I personally don't have any problem, but they hear from, so as if he got like the order over the microphone from someone. So I was for some time gone after they forget me. Yeah, I shaved my beard, I go again, and then I was for many months there, and I didn't get kicked out anymore. Yeah, I didn't get kicked out anymore, and was able to save many people until moving again here. So we can just go somewhere else and then later return. This is really freedom. It's like a joke what risk you have. What are people still afraid? Oh, someone might mock me. Huh? Yes, this will happen. People will mock you if you preach. They will laugh. Yesterday, the two people outside, one got saved. He bowed down. He was praying. The other mocked him. I had my eyes closed. My wife told me. He was filming him, mocking him, like laughing at him. Crazy, yeah? It's really, but it is what it is. Has Jesus been mocked? Yes. Have the disciples been mocked? Yes. Has Apostle Paul been mocked? Yes. He has been called a pestilence, yeah, in the book of Acts. So, just get over it. Just, what do you care about most people? Look, there was two possibilities. The people that mock you. They either go to hell, then you can laugh at them in heaven, now you mocker what you want, yeah? Or they go to heaven because later they still will get saved. That's why you should still pray for such people. That's why you should still pray for your enemies. And then you see them in heaven, and either no one remembers anymore, or they will even say sorry to you, yeah, in heaven, and you will say, I don't care, yeah, we are not sinners anymore, so it's already forgiven by the blood of Jesus. There was only these two possibilities. Yeah, what if my neighbor sees me? What if my boss sees me? What if he sees me? So what? Then you have testimony. You can testify to your neighbor, to your boss, to whomever, to your friends who see you. If they ask you, I saw you, I didn't know that you are a Jehovah's Witness. No, I'm not Jehovah. I am a Baptist. Yeah, then you can start with the gospel already. Then sometimes some of you in Rzeszów, yeah, they've been threatened by some parents, yeah, when you've preached by the police. Okay, not big deal, yeah. We didn't do anything. We tried to save them. By the way, we tried to tell your children the gospel so that they will go forever to heaven. And even if you will not believe and go to hell, it will make your time easier in hell when you know that your children at least are in heaven. Because this is, I think, even an additional pain for parents when they are in hell and their children also are in hell, because even people in hell can have the heart that the beloved ones will go to heaven. How do I know? How do we know? Luke 16. Did he not ask to send to his brethren? Yeah, the rich man in hell. He asked for this. So he even was thinking about his brethren. Let us open Luke 14. Luke 14. So where do we can actually go soul winning? Where can we actually go soul winning? What possibilities does the Bible tell? Which places are good to go? I already told some examples: parks, malls, train station. And Luke 14, verse 21. So that servant came and shewed his lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to the servant, Go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. The streets and the lanes, we are pretty much, when we go outside the train station, it's already the street, yeah? The lanes, when they sit at the well, when they sit close by the park. And then in verse 23, and the Lord said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be full. Then you have the highways and hedges. So pretty much outside, just anywhere outside. You can just go anywhere outside. And then we have one example in Acts 5:42. And daily in the temple and in every house they ceased not to teach and preach Jesus Christ. So we have tried, I think, everything. We have tried the parks, on the street, bus station, train stations, in the malls, houses we have tried. I don't know if every one of you, I will give a testimony also of houses, even though this is, I will talk about this soon. And temple, have we been in the church? And anyone in the church? Or in front of Catholic Church and soul winning? Might be an idea. Why not, yeah? Maybe we can try once. Never tried, yeah? And a Christian concert we have been. I don't know in which category this falls. But the Bible only gives examples. Actually, it means go everywhere, all over the world. Wherever you want, you can share. Also at home, in your work. Okay, in your home, in your work, you saved your beloved ones. You can share to them. You will not save like multitudes there. But it's a good place to start. Or even to start later after you learned outside. Then I also hear this is the best practice to save later the beloved ones. At first you learn with strangers how to share, and then you to share to your family. So you can share pretty much everywhere. And what has been the most successful here in Poland? I think it's really the parks and the malls, or not? This is the most. Yeah, you might say it's the Christian concert. How many was it again on the concert alone? 79, I think. Yeah, on the concert alone, 79. 3 hours you have been. I don't know, Brother Bartek, have you been longer than in the evening? I think you also went, yeah? But we have been there until the rain. Then I was there with Brother David. Yeah, we waited on a playground, under small. It was really like so small. It was raining, but there was no wind, so it was just enough to cover us. And then Brother David, he still saved someone after the rain who was passing by, a girl. But this was pretty much it. And so more or less 3 hours. How many? 10, 11 soul winners, 79 people. This was the most extreme. But don't forget 79, and then don't just stop soul winning and be lazy, because there were so many months we saved more than this also. Yeah? So there was already a lot of months we saved over 100. So for a one-time event, that's great. But in the long run, it is the malls, it is the parks, it's so much more. It's just a good push. It helps us so much more to exceed and to exceed our 1,000 salvations goal in this year. And I think our 1,000 salvations we will have pretty early, some month before even the end of the year. So it's really great opportunities that you have here in this country. But what about house to house? Has any one of you tried house to house here? Yeah? And anyone saved? So we have been house to house a long time ago when there was still Piotr Skrzynski with him and Marta. We have knocked some blocks. And then long time a break. And then with Brother Jan, I have knocked, so with him I think we have knocked 4 blocks. And one block I have counted it more or less. From my feeling, the 7 blocks altogether. The 3 in the beginning, or 4 in the beginning, and then later, many months later with Brother Jan, I think we went 2 times for 3 more blocks, or even 3 times, I'm not sure again anymore. And what did I had the feeling it was around 1,000, but I counted. It's more or less like really 100 people, 1 block. It has many entrances. I wrote it somewhere down, about like 7 or 11 entrances. So a block, you know, I have actually here, do we have anywhere here pen? Where are the pens here? Anyone has? Okay, I just wait for it, and then I will tell you how it looks like. So just give me one of them, thank you. And let's say, you know how our Boguskiego also looked like. It's really here, it's very bad to see. Oh, this is even making it, yeah, but I think even if it's not visible maybe for some, but so let's say here, this is like 1 unit. Yeah, you have one door, not 1 unit, but it's even more of this. Yeah, at least 7. It's like very long. You walk, it takes like 2-3 minutes to walk from one side to the other. And then you have 7, 8, 10, 11 doors. And on each you have 5 floors. And on each floor you have 3 units. So if you count all this together, one of this block has around 100 units. And 7 of them has 700, yeah? 700 units. So 700 units, for sure, more than 1,000 people are living there, yeah? In one, maybe 150, in 7, over 1,000 people. And now guess, in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times soul winning, 7 blocks, yeah, we did a little bit more than 1 in one soul winning, so maybe 5 times soul winning. It's a really long time ago. But we got 2 people saved. 2 people. This was the 9-year-old girl, and I just wanted to give an invite to her, and I thought, okay, because I thought, yeah, when the parents come, I don't know, can I continue? But somehow something, what compelled me, the Holy Spirit, try it, try it. And she got saved. She was very happy. I even asked her, what, God forbid, but what if you will go on the wrong way when you're old? Yeah, I still go to heaven, she said. So this was a great miracle, and this was in the very beginning. We're still with Piotr and Martha. And then in the end, with Brother Jan, one young guy, he was maybe 20, I don't know, he came just across outside, and we got him saved. So two people in around 1,000 people, 700 units. So over 1,000 people, maybe 1.5, I don't know maybe 1.5 the average who live in these units. Then how many is this? You remember Brother Raniero, what he told? He has exact statistics how many preached to, He said, Brother Pavel, you know it, to get 2 salvations, you preach around 100 people, or not? In Wrocław, And here, to 1,000 people to get 2 salvations. So this means it's 10 times less receptive. And is it worth to go there? If there was no park, if there was no lane, if there was no mall, if there was no Christian concert, we go there. If there was no Catholic, if there was no atheist, if there was no Hindu, I go to the Jehovah's Witness. I go to the Muslims. I even go to the Jews. I go to the Mormons if there was no one else. But why should we concentrate on this first? There will be a time when will be hundreds of soul winners. Okay, there is not enough in the parks. The people will say, even in Arcady, Westville Arcady, Zolotarasse, people say, you already told me 3 times. You shared me 3 times. Okay, there is a limit, how much. But still, even though people are telling this, still, we get every week when we are there, people still saved. But when this already starts now, let's say 50, 60 soul winners, we might need to start there with. But don't worry. If I will send one day some of you to door-to-door soul winning, I make sure that you are not there every week. That next week you are again in the park. Because if every week people will start quitting on soul winning. I was like 1,000 people around, like 5-6 times soul winning, then knocking, and I really don't remember, apart from these 2 salvations. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't remember that I had any full presentation. I even don't remember planting a seed. Maybe there was or so, on the doorbell or so. But most of them even didn't open. It was, you rang on the door. You press number 12. And very loud, everyone hears. And okay, no one. Number 12. You wait, number 13. And you are waiting all the time down. And then one opens, then you have 11, 12, 13, and then 14 opens. You knock on their door, or already open. No, not interested, you go up. Then you just make the rest up. Sometimes someone opened already very down. And then you can knock inside. And there were 2 like high buildings, so these blocks are like this, horizontal. There was also 2 like vertical. And in one there was a code for the other because the elevator was broken, so we didn't need to ring outside. But also we were quite fast done. Actually, it goes faster than you think to knock on 700 doors because, as I make the example, no one opens, next, half a minute. You wait maybe 4 or 5 times, it rings, you wait, then the next, then the next, then the next. So it's good if you just have a goal. I think if we start this, we need to make also maps, that at least we have the success. Okay, we can paint the parts done, and we are done. And I don't know what goal we will set. I think for the church, maybe once at least to knock all Katowice and around. But this will be just an additional program to knock every door of the cities, because the receptive places are where else. And we are even willing to travel. We want to travel to other places, like to Rzeszów, to the concert, when around Wrocław there will be some concert or so. We just seek the places that are most receptive. And why not even doing regular soul winning trips to other cities? Yes, you invest some time to drive, but maybe better than standing long down the door. Yeah, this is only on the last place, I say, but we'll still do this one day. But I want to say it wasn't the best experience. And then at the very end, once we were at the 7th block of whom I told, someone came out so angry. I called administration, zadzwonię administracji, co tu robicie? And Polish, he cursed and everything. What are you doing here? He was really mad. And I thought, and we went to these blocks 1, 2, 3, the last. Yeah, I'm talking about the last, with the Jan before, were the four were the beginning of the church, and these already some months ago only. And then he freaked out. But imagine we would have started the other direction. Then in the very beginning would be very depressive and always this fear someone in the background, we might get kicked out again. So you have a lot of problems, and moreover, most are even gated or not. You know that there are gates, this Kladki system here. Yeah, like cage, if you translate it, Kladka is this cage, yeah? It's, if you have the block here. Yeah, you have here block here, and then it's gated here and here. Yeah, it's called like Kladka, and you need this code to come in. So it's not ideal, yeah? It's not, that's occasionally, you might try it. So not everything is super receptive, but some things are. Actually, does someone have the time? Maybe Angel, Sister Angel, can you give me just the phone that I have here, the time? Did I preach already? This was about receptiveness, and then I wanted to do the next point. Thank you. So we have 12. So we have still, yeah, I think we still have time, yeah? So because I still wanted to do the next point. Yeah, so let us sum here up. It's rule you can serve here. You can serve here, it's receptive. Some exceptions, but there were so many places. You have motivation. If you go to the Galeria, to the mall, you get some people saved, you are motivated. It really motivates. It's not like some countries where you really beat your head against the wall. It's very rewarding in Poland to serve. It's very rewarding to win souls, and he that winneth souls is wise. And also it's written, he that goes out will doubtless come and rejoice and bring his fruit. Yeah, doubtless there will be fruit. We have really this guarantee in the Bible and even in practice. Then I want to go to the next point. And we have a church here, by the way. You have a church in Katowice, close to Rzeszów, close to Wrocław, also only 2.5 hours away to Warsaw. In Warsaw, you can go soul winning with the brethren there. They've been yesterday. You can meet up if you are in Warsaw, if you live there. Good opportunity still to go there, yes. In Wrocław, Brother Raniero does regular Sunday meetings. So you don't have to complain, we don't have any church here. You have. And even though there was one church in Katowice, there was in Wrocław, and also in Warsaw, you can meet up. In Rzeszów, you also a lot of people. You can go there. You don't need to go alone. Yeah, you don't have an excuse, I don't have soul winning partner, so no. You have. Yeah? And now the next, a good country to live. It's a good country to live. And the things that I wanted to tell, also all counts is valid for Germany before 2015. What happened in 2015? Some Angela Merkel allowed millions of Syrians to flood the country, and this got repeated around the time when the Ukrainian war started again. Yeah, or shortly before. So 2 times, like a wave of this. And yeah, woe unto you is written somewhere in Isaiah, yeah, that enjoy or drink in the morning, and whose country is ruled by women. Yeah. It's a curse according to the Bible. It's a curse. And the first woman in Germany, yeah, it's not just my opinion, it's not just the Bible. Most people in Germany agree. Ask them, when was the moment when Germany started to go downhill? It was the moment Angela Merkel started to rule. Yeah, she is the beginning of the end of this country. But before, also when I lived there, it was really a good and safe country to live. And today people say of Poland it's safe. Can you imagine that when I was the first time in Warsaw living here, 2011, people said it's safe. But they all said only 10, 20 years ago it was dangerous. Warsaw once was a dangerous city. Do you remember anything of this? Have you ever anyone heard of this? It was once a dangerous city. There was even mafia, and in general Poland wasn't safe. My parents even told you had to put your foot mat inside. People will steal it. They will steal everything. Now you can leave the things outside. People will not steal them. No one is interested to steal. Yeah, there might always be an exception, but in general it is a safe country. You can walk as a woman. I don't suggest this to you. I don't do this, yeah? It's on your own risk. But here you still can take the risk. In Germany you cannot. In Germany, women are scared to go alone outside in the evening. They are scared unless they have their husband, their boyfriend, the dog, whoever. Yeah, or pepper spray. People in Germany have pepper spray, especially women. They are scared already. Here it is a safe country. Then, why is it actually important? What has the one point to do with the other? Yeah, if you live under threat of your life, it might be difficult to serve. Also, what do you need to serve? You need to sustain your family. Yeah, you need to provide for your family. If someone does not provide for his own, he's worse than an infidel, does the Bible say. So it's very important, and it's difficult to provide if you live in a poor country. Look, the Philippines are so super receptive. But it is also reality that they are lacking, sometimes soul winners in the school preaching, and there is not always coming as much for the soul winning time as possible, even though the brethren have the heart. But it's so hard to provide because the salaries are so low. Many are overseas workers. They go to other countries, even to Poland, to provide, for some time, earn money and then come back. And sometimes they are separated for a year or more from the families. This is reality. It's really difficult to live there if you have not studied. If you have studied, you earn in 1 hour what other people earn in 1 day. But if not, it's difficult. In Poland, it's pretty much, I don't know, does anyone of you have financial problems? I don't know the situation. But if you work, if you have a full-time job, and you still have financial problems, I think you do something wrong. Yeah, because I don't know how it's possible in Poland, even if you have the minimum salary. If you have a full-time job, yeah, then if you are single, don't have the 60 square meter flat. As a single, I was living in a Kavalerka of 20 square meter, 2014 to 17. And I was happy there. 1 room is enough. But I think you can even afford 2 rooms as a single. Even though it's not really necessary, 2 rooms as a single, but you can afford. You can afford a car. You can afford these things. The salaries have more than 3 times increased since I was last time here in Katowice, 2017. In 10 years, 3 times. Okay, the rents and the prices also. But when I look at the grocery stores and the food and the restaurants, they have not necessarily 3 times increased, a little bit less. I think all over the salaries increased a little bit more than the costs. And in Germany, you have the opposite. The salaries increase, but the costs increase more. Then the one thing is important. It's difficult in the world to live according to Bible standard and to provide alone as a father. Our world is not built like this anymore. You see everywhere both work. And there was even DINKS or so, this word, double income, no kids. Yeah, have you heard the DINKS? Or some double income, no kids. They are considered as rich. They have double income and no kids. But what if you have 1 income and kids? But it's not that bad in Poland. It's not that bad. You can still earn enough if you work. Then you have 800 plus. Just every one of you count yourself how many hours you would need to work for 800 zloty. For me, this is a great relief, yeah? This 800 for every kid. Then you have the ULGA Störe Plus, ULGA 4 Plus, discount 4 Plus, I don't know. You know, this is tax discount. So if you have 4 kids or more, until 85,000 zloty per year income, brutto, you don't pay any tax. You don't pay any tax. I have my business, and not only that I didn't pay tax for the last year, I was like positively shocked. Yeah, not only that I didn't pay tax, after doing my PIT, yeah, my tax, how it's in English, yeah, my tax declaration, they showed a number of 4,000 zloty return. But I didn't pay anything, and they still returned me 4,000. What did they return me? From the social contributions. Yeah, so this means unemployment, retirement, yeah, all of this. Yeah, you pay health insurance and then społeczne. Yeah, this is the social contributions. They all returned me everything. Okay, they investigated. Yeah, they were a little bit suspicious. They wanted documents from me, my facturas. It was like a small tax investigation. Yeah, they wanted to have the proof that I really have 4 kids. Yeah, because the Filipino kids that are born in the Philippines, the 2 oldest, they were not yet registered. But afterwards, yeah, they gave it. So to sum it up, if 100% is my brutto income, 90% is my netto. Yeah, and for everyone, we have some people that have 2 or 3 kids. The government wants to make it down to ULGA 2 plus, 2 plus, yeah? So, many church mamas will benefit from this. And even though in Germany the salary is brutto like this and in Poland like this, but if you have kids, yeah, in Germany it's like this, and it can be that you have even in Poland similar or even a little bit more over. But even if you have a little bit less, the prices are still much cheaper than in Germany. So you can live here better. And Germany is a disaster, it's a nightmare. You know what they want to do? Look, my wife and my 4 kids are health insured through me. You think that's normal, yeah? In Germany this was normal. Now they want to stop it. If we would be in Germany, my wife would have no health insurance because she doesn't work. Can you imagine what a wicked country this is? They are giving to the whole world. Just imagine you live in a country. They're giving to Ukraine. They're giving for bike race in Peru. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know if any of our brethren would like benefit from this. But okay, why do they give somewhere? They give to India for some environmental protection. India's having their own rocket program. They want to send rockets to the moon, and Germans giving them money. And imagine how you feel as a German if they are ripping you off and giving your tax money to everyone else, and you work hard. That's why I cannot really blame people who live in Germany if they live now. Before, yes, but now if they live for the government, yeah, it's still wrong. It's still a sin. But it gets more and more understandable why they do. They are so frustrated. They are so pissed off really of the government to work, and then the government steals everything of you. It's not ideal in Poland also. Yeah, even if someone pays 0% taxes, I still pay 23% or not? Yeah, because assuming that I spend all my money that I earn, yeah, for everything, for the salary also, it's 23 or not? 23% this VAT. Yeah, so in the end, you anyway pay. But I just want to tell it's possible, because Poland cares on the paper on the families. That's good. Yeah, that's a really good thing. So to short up, especially if you have kids, because Poland has one of the lowest birth rates, 1.5 or so, and while Western Europe increased in number, every country. Why? Because of immigration. Poland didn't have so much immigration. They decreased. All Eastern Europe. And that's a problem for the economy. And Poland knows we will die if we don't have kids. So they're making all these programs. So they're helping. Yeah, they are helping. And that's why people in Poland who have kids, they don't get stolen so much from the government. Yeah, I still will get stolen every time I buy something. Yeah, they steal 23%, but at least you have more to spend for a family. Then I want to read James 4, James 4, 1-3. Now, some might say, I don't agree with you, Pastor. What are you telling? I cannot live here. Yeah, I'm single, or I'm father of 4, 5, 6, whatever. James 4, verse 1-3. From whence come wars and fighting among you? Come they not hence even of your lusts that war in your members? Ye lust and have not, ye kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not. Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lusts. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. Actually, verse 4, that you may consume it upon your lusts. That is the problem. Many people, they just want to have things that are not necessary. Having food and raiment, let us be content therewith, the Bible says in 1 Timothy 6:8. We should be content having raiment and food. And by the way, in my personal life, I experienced that I always had a roof also. What else do you need? Everything what you need more, count it as luxury. If you need it, God will provide. I know today we need a smartphone. You need a laptop. I don't know how it's with you, but if I would not need it, maybe I would not have it. But how to work, especially as an online teacher, how to do bank transfers, I don't anymore know. 20 years ago you had the choice, nowadays not. So God will provide everything what we really need. But then if you need a car, He will even provide your car. Maybe not a Ferrari, but at least a car that drives from A to B. Yeah? He will maybe not give you a mansion here, you will have your mansion in heaven, but you will have some flat that is enough. So just be content with the things. Sometimes you need to save. Yeah. For example, I'm working on one income and even not full time, but we are getting the rounds. We have a very cheap flat. My wife always buys in Biedronka. She buys for 100 zloty and then she has like 60 zloty discounts. Yeah. Then she gets here 35 extra discount and this. We are saving on internet. Do you know that if you have just one phone for 35 zloty a month, you have unlimited calls and 800 gigabyte internet? You don't need more. Yeah, that's why we have one number that we use together to call, and then everyone has his own SIM card that's not charged. So, clothing. Yeah, the kids, one uses, Adam uses, then the next, and the next, and the next. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't even survive until the youngest kids. They already get destroyed. Yesterday I bought them some nice T-shirts. You see, they were only 8 zloty per piece. Yeah, so you can live a cheap life. To save money also is work. So I don't say that we get rich with all this, the discounts and everything, but we can live well. We can live enough, especially if you are content. That's important. If you are content, if you don't look for luxury. If you look for luxury, I don't know why. Yeah, if you have it, if you anyway have the money, okay, then you can spend it. But why wasting lifetime to look for it, to search for it? Yeah, isn't it written in the Bible? Don't try to become rich in Proverbs. Don't try to become rich from your own understanding. Stop searching for it. Yeah, it's because I have it in German in my head. Aus seinem eigenen Herzen lass ab davon. Yeah, stop looking from your own heart, from your own understanding. Stop looking for it. It's like stupid to try to get rich. Yeah, and the love of money is the root of all evil. Nothing bad about having money, but loving it, searching it, making this your life goal, no. Our life goal is to serve. And if we have money, amen, hallelujah, we use it to provide for our family, to serve God. And if God gives us luxury, okay, then we have the freedom to enjoy it according to Ecclesiastes. This is also a gift of God. And if He didn't give you, then just wait until you go to heaven. There will be the streets of gold. Next point, homeschooling. Homeschooling is possible. Yeah, that's the good thing. Not like in Germany. You can homeschool your children here. Okay, it's not ideal. Also everything, there is again with this vaccine, some stress that you have. Yeah, but it's also possible to get around it with difficulties. Reality is also that people are not always tolerant with kids. Especially, you maybe don't understand if you have a car. We go with this van, it's not possible in the car. It's not possible with 4 kids to have 4 seats in a normal car. You need like a bigger car. It would be very complicated. Here one seat, another seat, another. But with this van, you go quickly into the bus, you are inside. It's very convenient. But then the kids act up a little bit and getting already mad. There was once came even a woman, she came like this to me. She was like really freaking out. I was, my wife, she was alone with Jonas while he was a newborn still. And I was alone with the older kids. And they were a little bit acting up. And there was only one possibility how to fix the problem. But okay, I was a little bit scared to do this in the bus because I didn't want anyone to take a movie or that my kids will be taken away or so. So I just, okay, what shall I do? The society doesn't allow me to handle the problem. Okay. You cannot just, if you're a parent, it doesn't work like, oh, stop. No. This is sometimes what works only. But if the government doesn't allow, sorry, but then people also need to endure the consequences sometimes of this. Anyway, people should tolerate kids if they act up a little bit. Okay, here in church, we can go out, we can do what's written in the Bible, and if it's in the Philippines, publicly spanking, okay. Here in Europe, it's a quite risk, so if you can do it, do what needs to be done. But at the end of the day, I want, of course, my kids to behave, but if it's in the public, what is my first priority? That at the end of the day, they're still with me, that no one will take them or so. That's the most important. So they get the portion, but sometimes it's not possible because of the rules here, because of the threat of the government, because of social media. Everyone might film you and report or whatever. That's why sometimes they have even more to tolerate. That's a problem that society created her own. But let's say sometimes they even, Adam once was just singing a little bit. Nothing to chastise him or so, and one girl freaked out already. You need to tolerate kids in the public. Look, I am tolerating things also. I'm tolerating cars. Every time I wait on a red light, how many time wasted? All the noise outside, especially the Philippines, the honkings. I tolerate it, or not? I tolerate dogs. You know how many times I stepped in their poo? How many times my wife stepped in their poo? How many times my children stepped in the poo? I tolerate it. So why can't people tolerate kids when they're a little bit loud? Why can't they? Why is it not possible? That's a problem here in Poland. On the one hand, the government gives you the money, parents, get the money, get more kids. But they could also invest some of the money for some campaign. Kids are a blessing. And then the psalm has written that kids are a blessing. They should really make, I am dreaming up, For sure the government will not make some campaign with Bible verses, okay? But at least they could make some campaign that we need kids. Be nice to kids. Tolerate them. But sometimes people, they love their dogs more than other kids. They don't care. They allow them to run outside. We were once in the park, a dog comes, my son cries, and he says to me, this is public. Piss off, you bastard. Put public. So because public, I can come to you and do like this, like some idiot. No dog is allowed to run to my kid. I don't care where it is and bark at him. I don't tolerate this. This is a threatening or not? When they bark and he's crying. And once my wife was inside our Klatka at the playground, and the kids were crying because of a dog, and the owner like to our kids. What an idiot. They cry because of a stupid dog, and he says to me, I have a lot of experiences. I can go on and on. When my firstborn learns without diapers, and I was visiting my wife in the hospital because she has born our third born. And there was emergency. Okay, he did his, how do you say? Yeah, pissing is a Bible. You can use it. Yeah, he pissed against the wall like a man. Yeah, outside. And the woman, scandal. So there was all beggars. There was alcoholics. They are pooping outside. They are pissing adult people, and she complains because dogs everywhere. There was poo everywhere in this country, everywhere in Germany, in all countries. But she complains because. So tell me, why does a woman complain like this? Because she hates kids. Because people, this is one problem. Yeah, I'm telling how great country this is, but I also need to tell the truth. People in Europe, that's why they have also so few kids, they hate many times kids. In Germany, it's, I think, much worse. Also with abortion. Abortion, that's a signal that the society hates kids. A fertility rate of 1.5, that's a sign that society hates kids. But despite of this, children hate us and all of this. Despite of all this, yeah, you can make a living here. You can teach them, not putting them to public school. Thanks God. And they are still in some way safe. Of course, you need as a parent to watch them. You need to watch them, but if you watch them, they can live here a safe life. And I hope it will change. I hope we need more preaching for kids. We need to be more able to tolerate kids. I don't know, but when you live somewhere in a city, you have car noises the whole day. Why can't people, when they drive for 10 minutes with a tram, and the kids acts up for 1 or 2 minutes, they cannot endure it? Oh, I destroyed your tram ride, for that you paid 3.40. Sorry. I have endured in the Philippines 4 years of cars and honkings and noise or renovation. Then you also have noise. Like everything is allowed, yeah, to be loud with honkings, with cars when the engine. Do you know these motorbikes that you hear them from kilometers? Renovation is allowed, everything is allowed. Yeah, but when kids, but thanks to God, by the law, it's not noise. I don't know, actually I think my wife also checked it in Poland, but I even know in Germany there was a law that kids' noise is not allowed to consider it as noise, and you cannot call the police. Yeah, it is like this. They cannot kick you out or so, they are kids. Of course, you have to, and now it's the other opposite. There was these parents that allow the kids everything, and they act up and like yeah, I don't talk about this. I'm talking now about normal kids. I'm talking about the best possible way. You spank them, you teach them, but they will be still to some degree noise, yeah? I'm talking about this. This they have to tolerate. I don't talk about parents that don't care all about the kids and they do what they want and they scream and they never got spanked. I don't talk about this. I also don't want to endure the noise of kids that never got spanked, yeah? But I have no problem to endure the noise of kids that get spanked and that get taught. So I think that there was a big difference. You can see these videos online of kids that are really freaking out, that are lying on the ground. Yeah, might do that your kid will do this, but I hope it will do this one time, and then it will get the worst spanking ever, and then it will stop to do this. Okay, I want to come to the last points. We have nice cities. We have nice cities. We have parks and forests in the cities. I once told you in Manila, 2023, the best cities to live, place 240, 30 of 230. It was on the last of the last place. It was really the last. But Warsaw, Katowice, you have parks. You can go soul winning there. You have trees, you have forests. And let us open Psalm 19. Psalm 19. Why is this important? Because we want to enjoy the creation. And in the creation, we see the beauty of the Lord. Also, Genesis 1:31 is written that everything was very good, yeah, what God created. So, Psalm 19, verse 1. Let us start with verse 1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork. So, we have the heaven that declares the glory of God. Then, verse 8. Or verse Where did I write? Verse 8, the mountains. I think I have written, sorry, I'm the wrong. Yeah, okay. This was Psalm 19, verse 1. And then also verse 6. His going forth is from the end of heaven and his circuit unto the ends of it. And there was nothing hid from the heat thereof. So the sun, everything, we see the beauty of the Lord. Then Psalm 104. So God really declares himself. We can see his beauty in the nature. Psalm 104, verse 8. They go up by the mountains, they go down by the valleys, unto the place which thou hast founded for them. We have mountains in Poland. Verse 10. He sendeth the springs into the valleys which run among the hills. We have springs, mountain springs in the south. 14. He caused the grass to grow for the cattle and herb for the service of man, that he may bring forth food out of the earth. We have enough food, we have agriculture, we are a blessed country. It's not like Africa where we need to import everything. Verse 15, and wine that makes glad the heart of man, and oil to make his face to shine, and bread which strengthens man's heart. We have good agricultural products, even luxury. Verse 16, the trees of the Lord are full of sap, the cedars of Lebanon which he hath planted. Very nice forests. Have you ever been in nice forests? My wife and me, we like to go to forest. And you can really enjoy. You can enjoy the nature. You can enjoy your free time, having some quality time with your family. Verse 17. Where the birds make the nest, as for the stork, the fir trees are her house. You have nice birds. It's beautiful to hear birds singing. I told you about the chickens, in the Philippines. It's a disaster, it's a nightmare. Also, it's like kikeriki, but like this nice bird singing. It's relaxing. It's really relaxing. If you hear it, I can, even though we live close to the street, I can still hear in the morning the birds. When you have a big tree, you already have birds there. 25, so is this great and wide sea, wherein are things creeping innumerable, both small and great beasts. We have the sea in Gdansk. We have everywhere forests. In the south we have mountains. In the cities we have forests, parks. You can live well. You can live well. You can enjoy life. You can go in the nature on a daily basis. You don't need to go far away. And that makes a country also nice. Sometimes in documentaries I have seen cities in Africa, villages. I thought like it's a disaster to live there. There is houses and streets and nothing. A plain, no tree, no grass. It looks like how can people live there even? It looks so sad. You can do barbecue. You can have fellowship. Katowice improved. 10 years ago there was often smog. Recently here was a fire. There was smog again because some trash hill started to burn. But in general, the air got really fresher here. There is a hype in Poland, if you realize on social media, how safe it is, how nice the cities are. Also Wrocław is very often there, one of the most beautiful cities. Kraków also, Warsaw sometimes. Well, my wife shared to one foreigner. She said, I don't need to go to heaven, I have heaven here. That's a lie, It's a bit exaggerated. Of course, the earth is neither heaven nor hell. But it's just a testimony that here it's good in Poland, but a little bit sad that she doesn't, I hope that she also will experience hell in her life so that she can go to heaven. I hope you know what I mean, And then the last, I want to sum it now up when we open the chapter that we read, Deuteronomy 8. Deuteronomy 8. So there was talked about Canaan. Now I'm comparing Poland to Canaan. You can compare it. Why? Because what was Canaan? It was a good country. It was the country where Israel, Christians in the New Testament were serving God. So where do you have in Europe countries where you can serve God? You have some. You have Great Britain. In Germany they have a soul winning club. In Poland we have a lot of soul winning clubs if you want, in the different cities. We have a church here. In Austria there is a church, in Switzerland. But it's not so much. So you have not so many places where you can serve, and Poland is one of them, and pretty much in the center, by the way, also. So it's a good land. You can say the same about US, you can say the same about the Philippines. Yes, like in many aspects the Philippines are even better for serving because you can save more people. In other aspects, as I said, with the work, might be even more difficult. Even though you have a lot of opportunities, you need to work very hard. The US also in some points is better than Poland, in some worse. Yes, so we have everywhere advantages and disadvantages. But what's the main point? If we read chapter 8, verse 7, "For the Lord thy God bringeth thee into a good land, and a land of brooks and waters, of fountains and depths that spring out of valleys and hills." And by the way, this is scientifically accurate. Yeah, that water comes out of the mountains because it rains. Yeah, the wind comes to the mountains, it stops the clouds that rain down. And either in the mountains or through the pressure of the groundwater that comes then in the valleys out, and there start the spring. That's 100% exact with science. And a land of wheat and barley and wines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive and honey, a land wherein thou shalt eat bread without scarceness, thou shalt not lack anything in it, a land whose stones are iron and of whose hills thou mayest dig brass. You don't need to worry here. Here in Germany you get unemployment money. Here in Poland it's not enough to survive. But if you work, you don't have to worry. And you don't have to worry to have no work because there is work in this country. If you don't work because you don't want or you have not enough long searched. But what's now the main point? If we go verse 11, "Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God in not keeping his commandments and his judgment and his statutes which I command thee this day, lest when thou hast eaten and are full and hast built goodly houses and dwelt therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thine heart be lifted up, and thou forget the Lord thy God, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage." Then what will happen if you forget God? What will happen? Verse 19, "And it shall be, if thou do at all forget the Lord thy God, and walk after other gods, and serve them, and worship them, I testify against you this day that ye shall surely perish. As the nations which the Lord destroyed before your face, so shall you perish, because you would not be obedient unto the voice of the Lord your God." The point is, it's a good country to serve, and a good country to live. But for sure Canaan was better than Poland, much better. But what happened to Israel? They had plagues, they were sick, they had like famines, the enemies attacked them, they were taken captive, the land was like with salt, yeah, when a land, sometimes the enemy left salt even behind, they trampled down the ground, nothing grew anymore, it became a desert. And the same you see happening now also in Germany, because the society is so anti-God, it's so anti-Christian. They are persecuting, by the way, they're not persecuting only our brethren there from the new IFB. They are not only, they're even persecuting Christians that are streamers on YouTube that even don't have the right gospel, just for proclaiming the Bible, just for quoting it. And they even persecuting fake Christians. They are persecuting a woman preacher even. Can you imagine? She's so far away from the Bible, but even they get persecuted. And so in Poland, we still are on a good point, and we are the salt of this country. And it is a question of time until Poland also will go down the hill. It is a question of time. But we can preserve this country at least for 1, 2, or 3 generations. We can serve here. I don't know how long it will be receptive, but now it is receptive. And now's the time to serve. And countries change. Maybe one day in North Korea you can serve. Who knows? Maybe one day countries that are dangerous in Africa, yeah, they will open up. By the way, my wife and me were saving from time to time people in South Africa. I think it's a dangerous country. but we are doing mission trips regularly there, yeah, online. So you can even serve here in Poland, in other countries. So use the time, serve God, because you don't know how long this country will be good. I think we are now on the peak, it might decline. It is now deceptive, we don't know how long. We hope for our lifetime, we hope we can build you up, but we want to get the harvest. Now it is harvest time, and I really strongly believe in the best country in this continent to serve. Yeah, it's a really good country, it's a really good harvest. So use this time, don't waste it. Come visit our country, check it out yourself. Yeah, Pastor Starkey, he got himself convinced how deceptive it is. He got his salvations. You can even, as a foreigner, if you don't speak Polish, get salvations. So it's really a good country to serve and to live. But let us at first, serve the Lord, the God, seek His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things shall be given unto you. All these other things that I told later, about providing for a family, when you work, that you will have enough to enjoy the nature, everything to enjoy the country. God will allow you to enjoy it if you serve. But if you don't serve, you anyway will not appreciate it. So let us really appreciate what God has given us. For everyone who is here, don't mourn. You are in a very good place, in a very good time. Amen. Lord, thank you really so much that you have opened our eyes to see what you have given us. You have given us a good portion. You have given us a good country to serve you. And we are glad that we are here, and we want to use our time wisely. We want to grow in faith. We want to serve you from all our heart. We want to love you with all of our heart, strength, and mind. And help us also today to save a lot of people and change the hearts of the people in this country, that they may be even more open to the gospel. Also the older ones, they also will open up their hearts, and we pray in Jesus' name.